Hi, and welcome back to A Nerd, a Teacher, and a Hockey Player, a relevant yet irreverent look at business, technology, and life in Wichita or wherever you may be. I'm Paul, I'm the nerd.
I'm Kimber, and I'm the teacher.
I'm Jeff, I'm the hockey player.
Jeff, what are we talking about today?
Today, it's the importance of process and procedure and the need for shades of gray.
What does that mean?
Well, so often, and I'm a big policy procedure guy. I like repeatable, scalable. And I usually try to live in that world. But in the world we live in the industry we serve, there's so much that's not black and white. And you've sort of got to understand that there will be and needs to be shades of gray. Because sometimes you just have to figure out how to fit this round peg into the square hole. And it may take a little planing and filing to do it, but God, we can get it done.
Well, and I think that's important as you're growing a business that, or growing a life, that you have process and procedures and standard ways of getting things done, but you're also mature enough to realize that it really isn't all black and white. Mm-hmm. That because I say do it this way, that leads to a consistent quality result, but just like your example, you may not be able to put a square peg in a round hole. That may not work 100% the way you want it done in this particular case.
Yeah. So how do you figure out what to do then? Oh, I'm asking. Don't look at me.
No, I think that's a fair question. I think you've got to look at things more holistically. I keep wanting to come back to our clients and thinking about that, and a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this lately. I'm that.
You're the black and white.
I'm that black and white guy. It's
You
a
are the
Windows
penguin.
10 or it's Windows 11.
You're the penguin, brother.
So I think it's healthy for me to sometimes stop and think less black and white and more gray to kind of help just give balance and understanding that you can have process, procedure, best practices, and all of that stuff. And those things are important. I think learning from those things and building process and procedure is important. But there comes a point in time where it may not work for a client or for a team member. Mm-hmm. And so I think that you have to be able to take those things into consideration. If I have a brand new employee that, suddenly needs some time off for whatever reason, okay, the handbook may say, you can't take vacation for the first 6 months. But to what end? If I can give that person a little bit of time off to get over this particular situation they're dealing with, and they come back a better, employee, then I need to find the gray. Yeah. I can't live in the black and white. It's not good for the employee. It's not good for the business.
But I think it's also the black and white and gray is kind of situational. To bring it down to an example that's very real life from about an hour ago, driving from the east side of town here, I drive through the wonderful hamlet of Eastboro, where the speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Now, I've been taught, I won't let you know how I've been taught, but I've been taught that 20 miles an hour in Eastboro is 20 miles an hour in Eastboro. There's no gray. It is black and white. It is black and white. But
with blue lights.
Yes.
and blue and red.
And a white pickup truck.
And flashy.
But I will also be the first one to admit that as soon as I get out of that black and white zone and get into the wonderful, spectacular city of Wichita, protected by a great police force, we love you, maybe that's not as black and white, and 35 becomes, oh shit, I'm late for the podcast. Yep. 42 is okay, and they probably won't stop me.
I got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
All I took from that whole conversation is we have a handbook. Are we just so there's no way Kimber's going to do anything about this, either completely maliciously or just throw it away so she never got a copy?
I'm not sure if you know this, but our handbook, it's not really bound as a handbook, but there are policies and procedures in there.
that are being developed because we hired, because my life has always been, often been, usually is, still is, well deep in the gray. So we hired Mr. Black and White to further mature the business and provide some of that policy and procedure, scaffolding, framework for the team to use as we continue to grow the business. Because when it was me and one or two other guys, I could say, yeah, you can head off. Yeah, you can go home this afternoon. It's all good. But as we've gotten bigger, we need to be more deliberate and more structured about that. So in that case, the organization has moved from all of the grays to more black and white with some appreciation for the gray.
There you go. There you go. And sometimes I do have to be kind of like reeled in a little bit. I'm like, no soup for you. Right? No. But alas, sometimes you gotta acquiesce and give them a little soup if they grovel.
I love the gray, but I also love an if then. But so it's really weird because I'm a malicious rule follower.
Right.
So, but if there's not a rule, I won't make up one. I'll just like, this is more fluid. Like I love to begin with the end in mind. What's my goal? What do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? And then work backwards. And sometimes that working backwards, you find an SOP. And sometimes you find I made this by the skin of my teeth. I'm not telling anybody that worked. And just letting somebody else figure out that policy and procedure.
As a business leader, as you work backwards and you figure out what worked or what didn't work, I think it's incumbent upon us as leaders to share that with the rest of the team and say, Jeff, don't speed in Eastboro. Take it from me, don't speed in Eastboro. So that Jeff doesn't have to learn the same mistake I learned, or he knows the quickest way to get from point A to point B probably isn't Eastboro.
Never Eastboro.
It's never Eastboro.
That's never the answer.
As the organization grows, it's to the organization's benefit to learn from and document those mistakes. But remember that it is an ever-changing world out there, so we've got to be a little fluid with that, or acknowledge that it needs some constant revisiting to make sure that really is the case. I mean, one of these days, Eastboro may raise their speed limit to 30, and
I don't see that coming.
Okay.
Well, it could happen.
It could happen.
The world's a changing.
So we need to keep constantly reevaluating that, going, can I drive 30 now in Eastboro? Is this still the best way to do something? Is this still the best process? Is this still the best way to accomplish this? Or are there steps in here now that no longer need to take place because we found another way from the east side to the west side without going through Eastboro?
Yeah.
I love A/B testing. Like in that figuring out what works. I love, this is new for me, but I do enjoy failing. Like I enjoy finding what didn't work real quick.
Right.
Like,
Fail fast.
I know what, 5 seconds from now, that didn't work. Hooray. Throw that out, start something new. I think it's difficult to fail,
constantly.
No. Are you kidding me? I am not a technical person working in a technical space. I fail all the time. Surrounded by wonderful people who let me down gently with okay, let's have a quick chat. But that whole figure it out quick, what didn't work, so you can fail fast, learn what's coming up and figure it out a different way. That A/B testing, that didn't work. Does this work? Mm-hmm. And then just keep moving through in that way. Yep. I feel like it's a little bit black and white, but mostly gray.
Love the gray.
Okay.
I tend to live in black and white, but I'll dabble in the gray. I don't mind. But that's how I'm wired, right? So, and that's why I'm here.
Jeff, any other comments to close things out this afternoon?
All except for I love your shirt. We didn't talk shirts, but I had that one is one of my favorites you've worn. We all stuck to the themes. Shades of gray.
We did.
But where do you get a bacon and egg skull and crossbone shirt like that? I got to know.
You go to Amazon.com and you enter bacon and eggs, skull and crossbones. And
you too can have a shirt.
And you press buy now.
Buy now.
And 2 days later, it's on your doorstep.
That's a cool shirt.
And you wear it out to breakfast, and the guy from the kitchen in back comes out and goes, I love that shirt. Where'd you get that shirt? And I said, you go to Amazon and you enter this. And 2 days later, you too can have this shirt.
Nice. Noted.
Got it.
All right. Thanks for your time, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.